time on Dust and Blood, our heroes met mysterious Undertaker Leona Blackwell at the hanging, had lunch with Moz's manipulative family, and watched in horror as Bonesaw's plan spiraled out of control again. There really isn't much time left to go and do anything. Like, by the time you got there, it'll be time to leave to go to the Galloway's house. So, if there's anything in particular you want to do in the next hour, we can do it. Otherwise, we can move forward to the dinner.
That is not enough time for someone to get sober.
Yeah, we find Jasper a pot of coffee.
Yeah.
We do our best. We get him a bucket of water, dip his head in there a few times,
No.
some coffee.
No, definitely no water.
Oh shit, never mind, just kidding. Not the water.
What happened to your alchemist kindness? Yeah.
He drank it, but then we determined that it was more for hangovers than curing drunkenness.
Right.
Blake said
okay.
it might have some effect, but...
Yeah, I think he'll be mostly sober by the time y'all get to the actual dinner, but it's definitely not going to be a full sober Jasper by the time everything kicks off.
He's in the fun area.
It's like the hair of the dog that's going to bite me.
Yes.
Does anybody want to gussy up, or are we going as is?
Yeah, I guess that's the big question. How do you guys decide to go? You know, to give a little bit of context, this is one of the richest families honestly, in the West, in the United States at this time. And getting an invitation to dinner in their house from Odgar himself is a pretty big deal.
I believe that Jasper had switched out of his fancy duds to deliver, but had the illusion cast when he was in his fancy duds. So his fancy duds are at the hotel. So if we're going back to the hotel to get a modicum of coffee, he will take that opportunity to switch into his teacher suit.
Okay.
Nice.
Which is not really necessarily fancy, but it's very professional looking.
That is true. Jasper cuts a very professional figure, which is more than can be said for your companions.
Hey!
That's okay. I'll speak for everybody.
Bonesaw digs through a chest in the back of his cart. I don't really have anything else to wear. I mean, he holds up a suit. It's sort of moth-eaten and maybe 2 sizes too small. He's like, these are really more from my past life.
I have an idea for you, Bonesaw.
Oh, yes.
Your mask, is it leather?
Oh, yes. Mostly.
I'm almost certain that a hotel of this size would have a decent shoe shiner. And you could put a bit of a polish on it. If the mask, the face is the eyes are the window to the soul, you see. And the face is the doorstep of the eyes. So you'll get yourself good curb appeal by putting a polish on that. People's eyes will be drawn to it. They won't notice that the rest of you is horrible and dirty.
That makes sense to me. Shoe shine boy. I just want to see how this small human or other race reacts to.
Well, we shall have to ask the concierge.
Yeah, you say this in the room. Nothing happens because you're in your room.
It's not a magical incantation.
Perhaps I'll try in the lobby.
But it would be amazing if it worked. Look at the door expectantly. Nope.
Nothing happens.
Sober as a sober does. Sober as a sober does.
Bonesaw refuses to remove the mask, so whatever shoeshine person goes to work on it has to stare directly into his goggled eyes the whole time.
Stroking his beak.
Yeah, a small gnome with a wild blue shock of hair. Initially is like, yeah, I can, I mean, if you're, okay, I guess, and we'll climb up and just hold on to your shirt, and while you're still wearing it, just be shining it.
This is fine. This works.
Absolutely awkward. Everybody else just kind of wearing their trail duds.
Yep. No. I'm not even sure Moz has a change of clothes on his person, so you get what you get.
Myra, she doesn't have a change of clothes, but she does have a little bit of the quote-unquote snake oil that's actually perfumed a little bit. So she's still absolutely filthy from digging around in the dirt and going after revenants. But on top of the sweaty, nasty, grimy smell is the hint of lavender. So she has changed absolutely nothing except the fact that she kind of slightly smells like soap now.
All right, are you going to take your whole wagon?
We definitely need rides, because it's pretty far away.
Myra's gonna take her horse with her special saddle, because she's kind of tired of riding horses by wrapping around them.
I may as well take the whole wagon. It's a bit of a distance, and Boatsaw's a little nervous about the city.
That's fair.
Plus, that means that Moz won't have to burn his privates on the horse.
Well, Moz is accustomed to it being a little toasty everywhere.
Jasper will ride Smokey because Smokey's out and deserves a little fresh air.
The old woman who has been in the lobby the entire time that you guys have been there just gives you all a smile and a little wave and have a good time. I don't know where you're going, but have a good time.
We're going to dinner with the Galloways!
Oh, those stuffy sons of bitches.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Would you mind giving them my last water bill for me?
You know, to be honest, I think we're sort of done with that work for now. A little burned out on it, really.
Are you certain you can carry it in one hand? It's this, and she flips the bird.
Oh. We'll deliver the message, no problem.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
What's your name?
Oh, my name is Virginia Reeves.
Nice to meet you.
Wonderful to meet you too.
Good evening to you, Miss Reeves. May you have a good evening. I think your potion is working.
You too. I am going to enjoy this brandy. And she takes a sip from a big glass of brandy.
I like her.
She called me Sonny.
Everybody make a perception check for me.
Dun, dun, dun. 35.
17.
30.
17.
Fantastic. Yeah, everybody beat the stealth of this person.
Oh.
Right as you're rounding the corner from the main thoroughfare into the old Albuquerque area, you spot somebody in the distance following you. Appears to be a rather to-do chap, but has a hat pulled down, a large coat, the collar turned up, trying to hide his face.
We're being followed. Anything about this chap that we recognize?
I will say, specifically, Jasper and Myra, because you got plus 30, which, damn. You don't recognize this man, but he looks very posh bankerish type, and he looks nervous. And he's looking around to see if there's anybody else in the area as he is following you all.
Let's say the next time we turn the corner, one of us skips off to the side a little bit and then comes up from behind him and asks him what the hell he's trying to accomplish.
Pick me, pick me, pick me. Myra excitedly is like shaking her hands like, oh, please, please, please. I want to spook this guy so bad.
Jasper points like he's pointing to a student who may speak. You may.
At the next bend, if you get off your horse, I think Moz is going to do a major image, keeping you essentially in your saddle. So it looks like nothing has changed.
Thank you.
Nice.
Perfect.
Go ahead and roll a stealth for me with a +5.
Nice. Thank you, Moz. That is a 19. Plus 5 is a 24.
Yeah, he definitely didn't see you. You duck into an alleyway appearing to still be in your horse, and the man just walks right past you, and you have full access to him to do whatever you want.
You see him kind of like slinking along, and then all of a sudden a hand pops out, whoop, pulls him into the alleyway, puts him up against the wall, and goes, "So, what's going on in this neck of the woods?"
Oh my goodness! Who are you?
Who am I? Who are you? Why are you following us?
Oh, you're with. My apologies. I didn't realize you were with Master Bonesaw, and tips his hat.
Master Bonesaw.
Bonesaw!
My name is Veston.
Veston, you know Bonesaw? How do you know Bonesaw?
I have heard of him from reputation.
That could mean so many things.
And I saw that he was offering new services.
Sense motive?
It's the sign.
19?
Yeah.
He wants the leg.
Oh.
Mara blinks a little bit and she goes, "Oh, right, I forgot we had that advertised on the side of the wagon. Listen, we're actually a little predisposed at the moment. See, we're about to go have a meeting with some people. But tomorrow we'll definitely be able to see to you about any sales you would like to pursue. But right now
What's the
we're
hold up, Myra? Are you okay?
Myra actually she'll peer her head around and goes, so a guy wants the leg.
Moz will shoot Myra a dirty glare. Keep your voice down.
Oh, right. See, he wants a
The chicken leg.
A chicken leg, yeah.
Chicken legs.
yeah,
Yes,
chicken
the chicken leg. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah, he's looking to buy some. But I think we're kind of busy unless you want to hash this out right now, or
Quickly. Bonesaw ducks into the back and brings out a lumpy package.
He kind of scoots past Myra a little bit and tips his hat and approaches Bonesaw and says, "So, are we going to do it here? I would have assumed somebody as accomplished as the coffin maker would have, not be out of the back of a wagon."
Oh, no, see, this is the best way to do it because no one would ever expect it.
Oh, suppose that makes sense.
Bonesaw more loudly, projecting to the street, says, "And your magical healing chicken legs! Just as we discussed here!"
Can Moz do a sense motive on the name that he called Bonesaw, the coffin maker?
Yeah, it would be knowledge local.
You could sense motive on Bonesaw.
Yeah, and you could sense motive on him in general, too.
Okay. 2022.
You have heard the name Coffin Maker before, and it has never been in a good context.
Doesn't surprise me.
You know that they are some of the deepest black market dealers in Albuquerque.
oh.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that sense motive on Bonesaw that we were talking about. 16.
God damn it!
Oh.
I rolled a nat 20.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Nice.
Bonesaw is just inscrutable.
Okay. That polished mask is really paying off.
Not today.
Yeah, Bonesaw, as you're holding it out, he hasn't reached out to take it yet and says, do we just go in the back of the wagon and you lob it off and then put it on? Or how does it work?
Right! Oh, you wanted the full services. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. There's so many things you can use a leg for.
Roll a bluff check for me.
Can I not use my nat 20?
No.
No.
11.
Oh.
He frowns and says, "You do work for the coffin maker, don't you?"
Oh, that's what I said, isn't it? Or was implied? That's what you thought?
He is silent for a moment, looking between all of you. Perhaps we should continue this on another day.
Oh, damn it.
Well, it's your loss, because it only gets more rotten from here. I mean, we're keeping it in cooling, in storage.
Good day. He tips his hat and starts walking briskly away.
Moz will walk up to Bonesaw. What was all that about? You had him.
I really don't know. Bonesaw looks to check and make sure the guy is gone while he replaces the lumpy package. I've never heard of this coffin maker fellow in my life, but it seemed like he thought that that's who I was, so I was just going along with it, you know? I mean, I could be the coffin maker, who knows?
I wonder, I mean, if the guy's looking for a leg, it can't really be legal, can it?
Well, I assume he wanted his own replaced.
I think we need more information. I think there's something seedy going on.
Oh, well, certainly.
Jasper leans over to whisper to Myra and then realizes that she's by the wagon. So he leans over to whisper to Moz and realizes he's by the wagon. So he leans over to Smokey and says, "I have no idea what's going on."
Oh, that's right, he's still tipsy.
Well, too bad about the sale, but we have a dinner to get to, so I'm sure we'll find someone later.
You know, Bones, for a tradesman by sale, your pitch really needs some work.
He already came up and said he wanted the leg. I didn't think I had to sell it that hard.
Let's go get some dinner.
You all continue on your way until you arrive at the Galloway house.
Ooh.
Fancy schmancy.
The first thing you see as you approach is a large, walled-off area with a few gates in it with very heavily armed guards. And above it, it says, "La Fuente Sangrada, speak to the Galloways for permission to enter." The second thing you notice is an absolutely gorgeous Queen Anne-style building. You previously have been in the middle of the desert, in the middle of winter. It has been cold and blustery and just kind of miserable outside. But as you approach the Galloway house, as soon as you step onto the property line, it is night and day. It is like going to a completely different place. It is green, there's not a drop of snow on the ground. It's almost warm outside. It is an absolutely gorgeous 4-storied mansion. Large, swooping roofs with this blue wood and slate that is accented by bone-white wood and stone around the windows that forms decorative framing all around. There's a cobbled path leading from the edge of the property to the front, lined the entire way with gas lamps. And you see just absolutely massive oak and elm trees. All of it is clearly imported, making the entire area look more like an upper New England mansion than what you would see here in the middle of the desert.
Jasper would like to use his keen ranger senses and knowledge of nature, finely honed by alcohol, to determine how much of this, if any, is enhanced magically.
Absolutely.
If there are spells in effect.
Go ahead and give me a survival check.
That is a 31 on survival.
Absolutely. This entire area is suffused with magic. There's no way that it could be this green, this warm, this anything in the middle of winter without substantial magical help. Including lining the main path, you see 2 large reflecting pools with small fish swimming around in them, little goldfish koi.
Do we want to take a peek at the famous fountain? Just a little one?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to take a look at this.
Long as you don't jump in. Last time security ran us out.
I will dismount.
I'm sure the signage is more a warning, you know?
As soon as you start to approach the fountain, 2 of the guards just level shotguns and say, "We know you ain't got an appointment. Turn around."
Sorry, we're actually guests of Galloways. We're here for dinner. We just wanted to take a look at the fountain, but if you need permission from them specifically, we can go grab it.
You do that.
Okay.
Oh, poo.
It's okay. We'll go in and say, ask them for permission, and then we can go see it without no trouble.
Pardon me, good sir. Do you have a hand to handle our livestock, our horses and such? You might need a blacksmith.
The guy gives a whistle and says, "Head down the path. There'll be someone there waiting for you."
Thank you. You're a true gentleman.
He just snorts. He clearly is not, like...
Oh, no, totally
he is a
not.
rough-looking dude. He's missing an eye. Doesn't even have an eye patch over it, just is holding the shotgun leveled. As you start to turn and walk down the path, you see one of the halflings that you saw actually in the fight earlier that day, comes out of the front door, walks down and says, it's you folk. Alright, come on in. Farrago's gonna want to see you herself.
All right. Hello. Bonesaw swans in.
Somebody has taken our horses and such to...
Yeah, she's taking the horses, grabbing their leads, and not sure what to do with the wagon, just kind of parks it, and is going to take care of Myra's horse and Smokey.
Thank you kindly.
Bonesaw,
Yes.
this architecture is giving me a dissociative episode.
Oh.
This looks very much... where I was born and raised. And-
Really?
No, yes, indeed. Well,
You grew up in a mansion?
not as fancy. The architecture, it's of the style.
Oh.
I want you to let me know. I want you to watch very carefully and let me know if I say anything that is at all silly.
I will absolutely do that for you.
Thank you. I knew I could count on you
Yes, of course.
and your keen sense of sensibility.
No, I have such a keen sense of sensibility.
Something is not feeling right.
You don't worry about a thing, Jasper. I've got you.
Thank you.
As you all enter the main hallway, you see it runs down the entire spine of the house, like straight down the middle. And it is, for lack of a better description, blue. The carpet is this absolute deep royal blue. The walls have a black and blue woven cane design for the wallpaper. And as you step in, you see Farraga standing in the hallway, washing her hands at a small basin right near the front door, just wiping her hands off, shaking them out, drying them on her little vest, leaving behind some red-tinged water. You folks actually showed up. She pulls out a pocket watch. Holy shit. You're early.
Surprised?
She checks her watch again, shakes it, makes sure that it's still working.
Well, my mom always said, on time is late.
Punctuality is our watchword.
Huh. Alright. We're still finishing up some business for today. You all can wait in the game room until dinner's served. Come this way.
Ooh, games.
And she starts leading you down the hallway. There are portraits hanging along the wall as you walk, each with a stately halfling, beautiful wrought inlay frames for all of them. It starts with Dale Galloway and his wife Juliette Olive, continuing down the hallway. You see the entire Galloway family as you walk down this hallway. As you get about halfway, one of the doors to your right, you suddenly hear a thump and a boom, boom, and sounds like somebody banging on the door. Farraga just says, "Shut up in there, I'll deal with you in a second," and slams her fist against the door. Sorry about that. Come on.
Noisy toddler. They're so rambunctious at that age.
Yeah, I suppose. Definitely a rambunctious sort. Cracks her knuckles. As you continue down, you notice all of the frames have this exact same polished bronze scrollwork look. There are two notable exceptions. The first is when you are walking and next to Odgar, you see a frame for one Poppy Galloway. And the frame is shinier than the rest of these and seems much newer. Doesn't match the pattern of discoloration on the wallpaper, like it was recently hung. More recently than the other ones in the hallway. You also see a cross from Sebastian Galloway. One of the frames is just straight up missing, and you see the blank area of the wallpaper.
Do we see a frame for Seamus?
Yes, you do see one for Seamus.
What about Sebastian?
You do see Sebastian. The one across from Sebastian is the one that's missing.
Interesting. Do we see one for Robin?
You do not see one for Robin.
Aha! Bonesaw says loudly, "Looks like they already booted out the old wife's picture. I guess Poppy wouldn't want it hanging around."
Farraga draws up and just stops, turns around, and walks right up to Bonesaw.
Oh no. Easy. Just making a note.
I'm gonna tell you this once. If you want to get out of here with both your legs still attached, I'd recommend not mentioning that name in front of the boss. Capiche?
Okay, not in front of him, but between us.
Yeah, not in front of me either.
Oh, all right.
Right now, I'm the boss. Later, it'll be Odgar who's the boss, but right now, I'm the boss. Don't mention it in front of me.
Got it.
Well, Bonesaw's got legs to spare, so it's not the end of the world.
I wish I had said that.
Farraga looks at Moz and just, absolutely confused.
Moz will give her a wink and not say anything else.
Well, that explains everything.
She looks at him and just laughs and says, "Nice try, kid." Even though you're pretty sure you're older than her, but...
I'll let it slide once.
She leads you into the game room.
Ooh,
Looks like there's a snooker table.
a snooker.
Or possibly billiards. I'm not quite sure what the difference is.
As you step into the game room, you hear soft piano music coming from somewhere in the house. You're not sure where exactly. It is much like the rest of the house, though in place of the blue carpet, it's actually a deep brown, almost black hardwood.
Ooh.
And along the walls are the trophies of a big game hunter, all expertly taxidermied and mounted. There are deer and elk from the north, leopards and jaguars from the south, a lion and an elephant head,
Wow.
Holy cow.
and even some more exotic fare, including an entire manticore, a siren, what appears to be a pair of webbed devil's wings,
Damn.
Wow.
and the centerpiece of this room, the head of an ancient red dragon, mounted to appear to be feeding the fire with flames from its maw.
Must be huge.
Well,
Monster Hunter?
Well, it's got more style than the rest of the house. This is a blue hell.
these are exquisite. Look at that dragon.
That one, I think, that was Odgar's pappy that shot that one. Took it down.
What did he shoot it with? Artillery?
I think so. I think he bought a cannon from the U.S. Army. Used that.
One would think you'd have to.
Now, how do you aim a cannon straight up?
A lot of strength and a lot of luck.
And a good headwind, hopefully.
I don't know the details. I just know that, that was before my time. Once again, she's speaking in a very Chicago accent that I can't do.
Can Moz inspect the dragon to determine if it's authentic? Like, it's actually dead dragon and not just something that is made to look like a dead dragon?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a...
Appraise?
You could do an appraise check.
I mean, my praise is terrible, so we'll see where this goes. Ooh, 17.
17? From what you
Nice.
can tell, this looks to be an authentic dragon's head.
Okay.
The skin does look a little stretched. It's hard to tell if that's because the taxidermist was just not quite as skilled or if this is a younger dragon made to look like an ancient dragon, but it's definitely a dragon.
Okay.
And the most that could be stretched to be of this size would still have to be an adult at the least. Right. If you all just stay in here, don't break anything, don't touch the guns on that wall, don't touch the books on that wall.
Oh, thanks for pointing them out.
I need to finish up some business, and dinner will be in about 15 minutes. Oh, and don't leave this room.
All right.
Aye, aye, Captain. As soon as Farrag is gone, Bonesaw crosses to the books and starts moving them around. And he says, "Who wants to look for secret passages? Old houses like these, crime bosses, they've got to have some in here."
I'm more interested in the titles.
It looks like it's a lot of legal books, actually. Law books going back 20, 30 years from out west. This particular shelf is. You do see a small collection of fiction books. You actually even see one book that is just the pulpiest looking Revenant Ranger book. It is a weird mixture of books. In fact, all of the books seem to be specifically books that you wouldn't want to read. How many books does Bonesaw pull off?
Bonesaw is not so much pulling them off or rearranging them, he's looking for hidden switches.
Give me a perception check.
13.
Can I help?
Yeah.
He definitely invited people to come look with him, so
Myra also wants to find hidden passageways. 24.
much better.
Jasper, you cannot see any books on infernal contracts as you're looking.
Oh, good.
It all looks like it is terrestrial.
Alrighty.
With a 24, between you and Bonesaw, you find a book labeled The Amazing Otis that appears to be a trigger for a secret passage.
Yes!
That was quick.
Before Myra pulls it, she hisses, "Bonesaw, look at this. You want to do the honors?
Oh, I do so much, you don't even know how much I want to!
Go ahead, go ahead."
Bonesaw pulls the book.
You pull the book, it comes out about halfway. There's a chunk, and the bookcase suddenly opens up loose and begins to open outward. And inside, you see a small elevator. It is so small that it looks like the four of you could barely fit in it all together. It has intricate ironwork, and it says Otis emblazoned on the door.
Oh, I see what you did there.
That's clever.
Clever.
She said we had like 15 minutes, right? We want to go for a spin?
What if we wait, now that we know that it's there, why don't we check it out on our way out, maybe? Maybe let's have dinner with them first.
Alternatively, I could cover for y'all while you go down and investigate.
Oh, but I really want to eat dinner.
Can't have your cake and eat it too, Bones. Make your choice.
Okay, hear me out. What if it was just a peek? We just see what's at the bottom, and then we come right back up.
Okay, fine. We'll go down. We'll peek. We'll say, "Oh no, we just discovered this. Oh no, how did this happen?" And so we'll see if that plays out. Besides,
Bossy, have you got any illusions left?
I got one or two.
Could you cover for us?
Go on down. Have your fun.
Thank you, boss.
I'll stay with you, Moz.
Appreciate it, Jasper. Could use some backup.
Oh my god, I can't believe we found one.
I know.
You two step inside an elevator. Have you guys ever been in an elevator before?
Actually, probably
No.
not. No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Do we even know how it works?
Probably not. This is likely the first time you have ever even, no idea what is going on with this.
Can I roll use magic device?
Sure, go for it.
A 16.
16, you have to pull the lever, but it looks like it requires a key. So, unfortunately, it looks like your path is... It begins to descend without any input from you two.
Uh-oh.
Somebody has activated it and called the elevator.
Oh,
And
no.
we're inside it?
And you're inside
Oops.
it.
I hand Myra an extract of invisibility and I drink one myself.
Oh.
I have 3 prepared because they were originally for the plan this morning.
I am
Oh, no,
so
don't
glad.
explain. That makes that ruins everything.
Myra just downs it without question. She's already in too deep and she should have known better. But she downs it. She's like, all right. Second this door opens, we're getting out of here.
Yeah, we squish into the corners to make space for whoever's coming in.
All right. The elevator begins to descend, rocking back and forth, shaking very unstably, and it immediately becomes incredibly dark. Before all of a sudden, you feel a sudden rush of cold air as you open up into a massive cave. You both have dark vision, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. What you see is shocking to some degree, because you have entered into what appears to be a massive underground water reservoir, extending hundreds of feet in all directions. The elevator itself is held on 4 small cables that are pulling it down. It continues to go straight down, descending several hundred feet. As you look around, you see the water flowing out and around. As it comes to a rest, you suddenly enter into another set of wooden buildings that seem to be built near the waterline of this reservoir. Both of you give me a stealth check with the bonus from perception.
Plus 20, I think. 43 with the bonus.
Jesus Christ.
And 35 for Myra.
All right, let me roll perception.
They have to roll a natural 30.
He just rolled a nat 20.
Ooh.
You're kidding. How does that even work? 43? Nah.
We're gonna die.
If it was just him, that would be a problem. But it is a group check. And nobody else got high enough to make up for his...
Dang.
As it comes to a stop, you see a young halfling woman, red hair, wearing a small pulled down blue hat, a slight smirk on her face, wearing a red bandana, blue gloves, blue vest, the typical Galloway colors, riding chaps, a knife and a gun at her side. It appears that she's the one who called the elevator. You see, as she spins around, she has a big chunk of amber on her hatband. As you're approaching, she says, all right. Elevator's here. We can finish up and go get dinner and then talk with those assholes after dinner. And as you turn, you see an elderly halfling in a wheelchair. It is a very nice wheelchair. Mahogany wood, metal on the wheels, a plush lining. The halfling sitting in it is wearing a blue bowler cap, has sideburns that are coming up and around into a mustache. He has red hair, but it is very much graying at the roots. And when he speaks with a very heavy Irish accent. That's all right, love. I have a plan. What's you on about, Biz? I need... And the third figure that's in the room, younger than the man in the wheelchair, older than the girl by the door, you see a third halfling with deep mutton chop sideburns and a mustache and goatee that looks like it's about 2 days out from needing to be shaved, otherwise it just doesn't look good. Completely bald on the top of the head except for a small patch ringing around the sides, wearing a monocle, and he says, yes, well, I managed to increase the profits from the southern sector by 0.51% over the last quarter, which means, and the older gentleman says, Bess, I don't care about it. I just want to know, have we done better than the year before? I don't care about all those numbers, quarters, and all them drobes. That's what you're for. Yes, Father. We're doing better than last year. We're always doing better than last year because we continue to expand. That's what I like to hear. We'll have a good party. What could go wrong? And he says, give us a hand, Amber. Oh, here. Help out your old granda. And she steps over back behind him and starts pushing the wheelchair as the three of them approach the elevator.
Is there enough room for all of us in the elevator?
Barely, because they are halflings. There is enough room.
Is the door already open?
It is closed still. As they approach, Sebastian tucks a book under his arm and will open the door and hold it. And as he does so, he looks at Odgar and says, I really don't think that it's necessary to hire these outsiders. You know that they're going to ask for quite a bit of money, and from what Farragut said, frankly, they seem like they're going to be incompetent. Odgar says, What we need is some folk coming in from the outside. That's what we need to help us with this here job. You never know who's going to be messing around. They step in and close the elevator. What have Moz and Jasper been up to?
Moz, do you know the rules to snooker?
It's been a while, but I think I could give it a shot.
Good, because I haven't the faintest clue. Show me what to do.
Okay.
I challenge you.
I'll go easy on you. Wouldn't want to disrespect an older man. Moz will grab a snooker stick and start setting up the board, all the balls. Snooker's just fancy pool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like British pool.
Disgusting. Okay.
Right now, our audience would be like 18 people in us. No, it's totally different.
All 8 people.
Well, right now the only audience we have are the illusions of Bonesaw and Myra, which is completely under Moz's control, so they're going to be little cheerleaders whenever Moz does something good in the game, and they're going to boo Jasper whenever he does something bad.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's just mean.
The three of them pack into the elevator and start their way up. You can actually see up close now with Odgar, you see his feet, which he doesn't have any shoes on, are blackened and they look like they have experienced extreme trauma.
Oh, god damn. Maybe he'd want to buy my leg.
The elevator goes up, 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 and up. You once again see that massive cavern spread out. You hear Odgar give a...
Oh shit, the perfume.
And the shoe polish.
Damn it.
Are you wearing your floral scented boots?
Bess, you smell like you're rolled around in a grave and then dropped flares. You really need to be getting some new cologne. Remind me, I'll get you a tenner for it. I'm not wearing any different cologne than I know. You see Amber turns around and just gives him a smirk of just like, yeah, Dad, you really need to change up that cologne.
I like her too. She's sassy.
It's right about this time that Farragut comes back into the room to join Jasper and Moz, and the elevator arrives right around the same time too, perfectly timed.
So they're just gonna come out of the secret passage, not trying to conceal it at all, or...
Nope.
Okay.
They just come straight out.
Great jumping, bald-headed cadiddlefish.
Awful sneaky there.
Bonesaw, hold my cue. Why did you drop it? Oh.
Farragut has a wet towel that she has draped over her shoulders and says, "Hey, boss, We got these fellas here. Ready for dinner? Ugh, my stomach thinks my throat's been cut. What do we have in tonight for supper? Potato stew, like we always have. And Farragut's gonna turn to you two and say, you four, and say, go ahead and get yourselves cleaned up. Go to the lower dining room. Come on.
Why, certainly, we shall fall in line.
Moz will toss a glance in the direction of the elevator, wondering where the hell Bonesaw and Myra turned up.
Bonesaw places a hand on Moz's shoulder and gives it 2 squeezes while invisible.
Okay, I guess Moz will piece that. He's seen Bonesaw go invisible enough times.
We've pulled many a shenanigan together.
Yeah. He wants to be the last one to leave the room. Well, no, he doesn't want to be the last one to leave the room. He wants to be the last real person to leave the room so that he can drop the illusion the second that everyone is cleared, giving Bonesaw and Myra the opportunity to drop the act.
Excellent.
Okay.
Nice. Great work.
Farragut opens the door and starts to lead you down the hallway. You no longer hear any yelling or banging coming from that room that you did before. You do see a puddle of water seeping out and starting to stain the carpet.
Just water.
Just water.
Or spicy water.
Doesn't appear to be spicy water when you guys get close to it.
As far as we can tell.
I don't think they'd want to drown someone with their premium product.
If they were torturing an undead, it would be great for that.
That is
Yep.
But fair point.
Maybe they gave him a bath.
You all get washed up for dinner, and Farragut leads you into the dining room.
What a fun game of snookers!
You know, I think that Jasper might have been lying about not having any experience.
My natural skills came into play.
Good thing we weren't betting nothing. I might have been lighter of pocket.
You are ushered into what is apparently been called the lower dining room. It is just as gaudy as every other place in this house, furnished floor to ceiling with intricate black and blue gilded columns, with a long table that is intricately carved, and it has these beautiful blue leather chairs for you all to sit in. As you arrive, you see Sebastian, Odgar, and directly to Odgar's left, Amber. Odgar is sitting at the end of the table. Farragut, she is not seated. She's standing about 1.5 feet back from Odgar, just watching all of you.
Sebastian is the bookkeeper with the monocle.
Yes.
And Amber is the daughter who was in the elevator with us.
Granddaughter.
Granddaughter. That's
3
right.
generations.
Yeah, she is the 3rd generation. Sebastian is the 2nd generation and is Odgar's son.
Mm-hmm.
You also see, seated next to Sebastian, a familiar figure from your first night in Albuquerque, Ruby Galloway.
Ah.
She's singing a little song as you all enter and saying, I was thinking of trying that out at the Flowing Waters. What do you think of that, Bazzy? That sounds wonderful, dear. I'm sure that they'll love it. Oh, but Bazzy, please tell me. You gotta give me your full opinion. I must know how you like it. I enjoy the lyrics. Oh, you do? They're my absolute favorite part. I wrote them myself, you know. Night time for us.
Do we get the impression that they're happy?
Make a sense motive check.
Do we
Okay.
need a sense motive check?
Yeah, do we need the sense motive? This is more...
It took him a full minute to come up with a compliment, and you'd think he'd have had practice by now.
Wasn't she rather skilled when we saw her at the hotel?
Yeah.
She is rather skilled when she's actually performing.
Okay.
Just annoying in person, I guess.
Yeah, you get the sense that when she's on stage and performing, that is very much a performance, and that her in person is a bit more diva-esque. She very much takes up the space that she's in. Very much what you picture for the early 1900s silent film star.
Gotcha.
Odgar says, "Welcome, my friends. Thank you for joining us for supper. This is going to be a great evening we're having. What we having again? It was potato soup. Delicious potato cream soup. And then a wee bit of, I think, cod.
A fine chowder.
Chowder. I like this, man. Bring him a chowder." You don't see any actual servants. You get a sense that they are probably utilizing unseen servant spells. There's one seat open on the side where all of the Galloways are on, and all of the seats open on the other side.
Is the person who would sit on the Galloway side have to sit next to Ruby? Because that's what it looks like.
Yes.
Who wants Ruby?
Is there a chair on the other end of the table opposite Odgar?
Yes, there is.
Bonesaw will take that one.
Odgar looks and says, "That's a good seat.
Oh, damn right it is!
I appreciate a man who's able to know where he needs to take his seat."
Yes. Yours was taken, so...
Oh, that's alright. I like you.
I think Moz will take the seat furthest away from Ruby.
So there is a seat right next to Odgar that's open on his right side. If you go to sit in that one, all of the Galloways, except for Odgar and Farraga, make a movement of no, don't sit there. And Odgar just calmly turns to you and says, "Sorry, my wee rodent friend, but that is not your seat. I'm gonna have to ask you to move one down."
My apologies.
Thank you.
Didn't see my name on it. Or any of these, for matter of fact.
I'll have a seat next to Miss Ruby back here.
I'll sit across.
After a few minutes, you hear a crash come from the hallway. Ruby gets very quiet at that, and Sebastian just kind of hangs his head. Amber rolls her eyes as you see stepping into the room another halfling carrying a big old bottle of whiskey, wearing a very disheveled blue overcoat, a blue hat tilted to one side, a little soul patch of red hair, long red hair that's kind of pulled back, a glazed look in his eye, a big old cigar in his mouth, and he says, "The prodigal son has returned." And he gives a very drunken bow.
Oh, dinner and a show, how delightful.
He looks like fun.
Oh, you didn't say where we're gonna have guests. Oh, it's a little rat man. Hello, rat man. I'm gonna sit next to you. And he just plops down next to you, Moz, throws an arm over you and says, "I like you." And you can see Baz just puts a hand on the desk and says, "Seamus, please show a little bit of respect to your grandfather and give him, yeah, Dad, I'm do it. Thank you, great grandfather, for giving a place at this dinner table. I appreciate you. I love you so much." Takes a big swig from the whiskey bottle, offers it to Moz.
Moz, without looking at anyone, will just take the whiskey and down a good gulp or two.
Yes, there's some for me.
I think we'll get along just swell.
That's right. I like you, little mouse man.
I'm gonna lean over to Ruby and I say, "I think he's a little drunk."
Ruby says, "Yes, I do wish that he would show up at these dinners a little bit less intoxicated right out of the bat. But it's okay. It's fine. We're okay."
I do hope you'll be gracing us with another rendition. I quite enjoyed your performance at the hotel the other night.
"Oh, you saw my performance." This immediately brings her out of her concern and just she's meeting a fan. And she turns and is like, "Oh, you saw my performance. That is wonderful. What was your favorite song that I sung?"
I
Oops.
myself do not remember what she sang, so I will say the last one. It was a wonderful finale.
Oh, yes, that is my absolute favorite one. I wasn't the actual one who wrote that originally. It comes all the way from France. Absolutely lovely. I myself, spent a year over in France learning the language. Absolutely delicious language, especially when you speak it in a wonderful flowing. It is so beautiful to sing in. My Lord,
Votre chantel est très bon, madame. Because I speak in the French.
I do not.
Bonesaw speaks up and across the table says, Jasper, you said that I should warn you if you said anything funny. Well, that last bit out of your mouth, I didn't quite, I think you're slipping into the gibberish talk.
Oh, pardonnez-moi, monsieur. Le monsieur sur la table, ce n'est pas mal à la tête.
Ah, damn it, Bonesaw, you broke Jasper.
It's not my fault.
Everything's your fault.
It's at this time, it looks like they're just starting to bring out several of the dishes. There's still one seat that's empty, and Odgar says, Farraga, where's Poppy? Where's she at? Oh, she'll be down in just a second. Boss, I'm sure she's just getting dressed up for and the door swings open at that moment. Farraga steps from the right side of Odgar to the left side, standing kind of between him and Amber, as the final member of your dinner party arrives. She is predictably a halfling. However, unlike all of the Galloways, she has this long, black, flowing hair, wearing a very, for the times, skimpy dress, very low-cut, big green gem right in the center of her chest. Her face is painted with incredibly white makeup with very big red blush on it, a couple of painted hearts on her face. You also notice she is very young. Like, younger than Amber, who you would guess is like in her mid-20s.
Oh, I love when there's entertainment at dinner.
Augie! Odgar gives a big grin and says, Oh, my sweet Poppy. Come here. Let me give you some sugar.
Oh, that's Poppy. I thought it was the clown.
Hi! Wonderful to meet you all. Oh, how loudly does Bonesaw say this?
Quietly to... Who's he sitting next to? Quietly to Myra.
Good choice.
Yeah. She comes in, gives him a big kiss right on the lips, and sits down. Give me a perception check.
27.
34.
19.
22.
It does not take much for you to see the daggers that both Sebastian and Ruby are glaring at Poppy, and the absolute annoyed look that both Farraga and Amber are giving her. Seamus is just too drunk to care. And Odgar smiles and says, Well, now that we're all here, let's take a seat and talk in. First course. You all are quickly treated to a pretty damn good meal. The first course is this delicious potato soup, very creamy, very fresh. There's corned beef and cabbage, a shepherd's pie for each of you. It is absolutely delicious. A seafood chowder is brought out at one point.
Bonesaw doesn't actually eat anything, but you suspect he's squirreling away some of the food in his jacket for later, because occasionally there are like sloshing sounds and there's
God.
food disappearing, but it's not going in his mouth.
Oh God.
Save some of the soup for later.
It is a fairly lively dinner. You see a lot of talking back and forth between family members. Sebastian is talking primarily with Amber and Odgar. Odgar and Amber are talking mostly together. Poppy and Odgar are talking. Seamus is just talking to you, Moz. Ruby is talking at Sebastian, but also focusing on her new fan, Jasper. You also notice there's no business talk during this dinner. It's all very cordial. There's a lot of laughter, despite the tension that was present at the very beginning. There seems to be a lot of happiness and excitement. You see about halfway through the meal, Farragut disappears to return about 5 minutes later.
This is delightful chowder. Those coriander seeds I taste. Maybe a hint of fresh dill.
Who are you asking?
Actually, probably Odgar. I will direct that at the head of the table.
Odgar sits up for a second and says, I believe so. I think we bought some coriander seed from across the pond quite a few years ago. We're still using it. It's quite good, wouldn't you say?
I would say it's excellent. Where can one find a good selection of herbs and spices and such in this town? Could you have a place you could recommend? We're on the trail quite a bit, and I do try to keep things palatable as we are traveling.
Odgar considers for a second and says, The general store might be able to help you out with some of that. I know that they import a lot of our things. Snow, down at the telegraph house, can provide some of it. She's quite handy to have as a friend. Seamus, from his conversation, looks up and says, You're looking for herbs? Oh, you want to talk to Lee Marin at the Smoking Cobra. She can get you the best herbs. And Sebastian looks and says, Seamus, I'm not talking about that. Jeez, alright. Whatever, dude.
That dude was coming here.
Dude. It's coming all. That dude is time traveling.
You're harshing my mellow.
Yeah, he just is like, whatever. But I think that we get more than a little from all around, wherever we can get it. Mostly importing it.
Yes, well, your establishment is quite charming, and it does indeed show that the degree of preeminence your family has managed to carve out in this rugged and frontier community.
You see Odgar, he sits up just a little bit at that and says, Thank you kindly, Mr. Jasper. That was quite kind of you to say. I'm glad you enjoy it.
Well, it is not often that one gets to partake of such things this far west, and I do appreciate the invitation. However, as we are nearing the end of our prandial exploits, it might be prudent now, as we wind this up, to turn to matters of business.
He has taken a big bite of a dessert that has been passed out. It's a delicious bread pudding. And he holds up a finger and shakes his hand and says, No business at the dinner table? That's one of my rules. We can discuss it all downstairs after we finish up, but nothing before. And you see Sebastian just rolls his eyes at this.
I imagine that Moz and Seamus, if Seamus was willing, had probably been sharing sips of the whiskey bottle that he had under the table.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think Moz would be pretty inebriated at this point, rambling about... Now you really ought to try Cheddar's moonshine sometimes. It's a bit more bitter than this, but it'll knock your socks off.
I sense the spirit of the demon rum has moved from Jasper into Moz.
Seamus leans in and says, You really want to get something good? You take this. We can get some. There is a wonderful rum runner that we work with.
Oh, rum runners!
Technically not a rum runner, because he doesn't run rum, he runs tequila from for the south. Delicious stuff. Oh, it knock your socks off. You mix that with a little bit of peyote and it sends you to the fucking moon.
I ought to try that. You got some good ideas. Anyone ever tell you got some good ideas?
They never tell me, especially Amber. She's a real, you know what. She says,
I do know
exactly.
Yeah.
Amber looks over at the conversation and just flips Seamus off. You hear conversation at one point of Odgar talking to Poppy about whatever new thing she is up to. It seems that she's gotten into painting for the third time, from what it sounds like. And she offers to show off some of her artwork to you all later.
That'd be very nice.
Why, thank you. It's so wonderful. I hope you all like it. It is, if you ask me, absolutely to die for.
We'll see about that. Bonesaw has been muttering down into his neckerchief, and there's some suspicious wriggling from under his clothing. Now, there's no need to be picky with me. I've seen you eat worse things, and the nice badger was all out of live chickens.
Oh, you're feeding. Oh, I see.
I don't care if the food is touching. Eat it anyway.
You see Farraga is like leaning back and just watching you, Bonesaw. She doesn't know what's going on with this, but she is concerned and is watching you and standing very, like, right next to Odgar, should you try something.
You know that look they gave us when Moz was about to sit in that chair next to Odgar? That's the look I'm giving Farraga right now.
A live rat skitters out of Bonesaw's pant leg
Oh,
and off
no.
into the house.
Oh, jeez.
Reggie, no, come back!
Reggie. Myra's gonna try to chat up Farraga to distract her from Bonesaw, but also to kind of get a feel from the family. She goes, Farraga, was it? I wanted to apologize for kind of running away from you earlier today. I think our last meeting kind of spooked me a little bit, but you're quite the capable fighter there, man.
Well, thank you. And she flexes just a little bit. I've been known to work a little bit off and on. I take quite a bit of pride in my ability to protect this family. And it's at this point that the rat starts scurrying. You see Amber shoots it and just obliterates the rat.
Reggie!
And then there's dead silence.
What's he going to eat now?
I think Moz is distraught.
Oh.
To superior marksmanship. And I don't drink.
Farraga just turns and says, "Who's going to eat?"
A Goiter!
Nothing.
Middle of his feeding time!
We have a pet.
At this point, everyone is watching Bonesaw. Farraga steps right next to Bonesaw for that.
It's a cat. We have a cat. We have a pet cat.
Roll bluff.
Moz is actually going to start crawling on all fours towards the dead rat
Oh,
and pick it up and just mutter to himself, "We just got back together." Wedgie.
Oh,
Moz will take the dead rat and stuff it in his pocket,
Moz, I don't.
clamber back up to his seat, and lean heavily on Seamus.
I don't think that's Reggie.
Seamus starts patting his head.
He's my brother.
That's not Reggie. That was a rat.
He's gone.
Reggie's fine.
The shot definitely, basically ripped the rat in half. Farraga and Amber. Amber has not put away the gun and just sets it down, looking at you, Bonesaw. Farraga is standing above you and looks between you and Myra and says, "I think it would be a good idea if you tell us what's going on."
It's a cat.
we're having a nice dinner, and I'm just feeding my pet.
Myra rolled a 28 for the bluff. Did that not make it?
Not for Farraga or
Oh,
Amber.
damn.
Wow.
Yikes.
Do you want to meet him?
There are certain mysteries that should never be plumbed at the dinner table. I would suggest that this might be a good idea. Time for us to finish up the corners of our bread pudding and retire to the drawing room. Would you say so, our gracious host?
Odgar puts a hand on Amber's hand and says, "That's all right. Fella wants to keep his secrets. Let him keep his secrets. It's perfectly fine. But yes, Mr. Jasper's absolutely right. Why don't we retire downstairs for an after-supper brandy and a chance for us to sit down and have a chat about why we invited you here? Amber twirls the gun, sticks it back in her holster. Farraga is not leaving Bonesaw's side. There's definitely a level of, like, concern.
It's okay. It's not a cat, but it's a pet.
He's really quite friendly.
He is actually. He's nice once you get to know him. It's not nothing to be concerned. There's no threat. I promise.
Trust me, Farraga, this is a scab you do not want to pick at.
She doesn't say anything. She takes a half step back from Bonesaw, but definitely still close enough that if he's trying to pull something. Amber steps back to start pushing Odgar's wheelchair. Sebastian stands up and Odgar says, "Ugh, you don't have to come, lad. It's just us talking about the messy side of the business. You can toddle off with the wife."
Interesting.
"But, sir, don't you be worrying about it, Base. Head on out." "Yes, sir." And he stands and starts to walk out, along with Ruby. Poppy bounces up, gives Odgar a big kiss on the cheek, and says, "I'm gonna go upstairs and try on some of the new clothes that I got. See you tonight, Odgie." And she heads out.
God.
Seamus, at this point, is passed out in the chair and is just...
You need someone to watch over you. Here, have Reggie. Moz will take the rat, one half of the rat, and give Seamus the lower half and just tap it in his front pocket. There you go.
Seamus turns over and pats the pocket. Odgar begins with Amber to start lead the way down the hallway. Farraga brings up the rear.
If you don't mind my asking, I am a medical doctor. Whatever happened to your, legs? And have you seen a professional about them?
Oh, I thought for sure you were about to ask about Robin.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought too. I was like, oh.
As you're walking down the hall, Odgar turns back and says, "Oh, I had several doctors take a look. It's been about... How long's it been, Amber? You were what? 20? 18? Denim Knuckles decided that they were muscling in on our turf. A way bit more aggressive, and we were a bit sloppier back in those days. A way bit of this, a way bit of that. They got a magic spell off on me, and unfortunately, it's a kind of thing that can't be fixed easily or cheaply. But could be a hell of a lot worse. I got this bad boy." Taps the wheelchair.
Oh, it's a very nice chair.
If you don't mind the suggestion, sir, there is a German craftswoman in Perdition who does excellent work with, I don't know, I'd have to come up with a word for it, mechanical contrivances. If you'd care to take a look at the fantastic creature that pulls Bonesaw's wagon, you would get an idea of her handiwork, and she might be able to give you a hand with that.
Is that Miss Schweitzer?
Yes, that's her. Stella.
He taps at the back of the wheelchair on a small brass plaque, and it says Schweitzer Industries.
Cool.
I should have recognized the handiwork.
She is quite talented, isn't she?
Oh, I'm sure it's packed with all sorts of goodies.
I think the last thing that we need is a crime boss in a mecha wheelchair.
That's exactly what we need.
Miguelito
That is
Lovelace.
the first thing we need.
Is Moz walking okay?
I think he's probably swaying a little.
I feel like if Bonesaw sees him weaving, he's just gonna scoop him up in one arm and kind of carry him along.
Oh boy. I think Moz, he's very experienced moving drunks.
Very
Said every drunk ever.
He's not at the point where he's like blackout, and I think if Bonesaw tries to reach for him, he's gonna slap his hand away and leave your hands off of me.
Alright, for now. When you get droopy, though, I'm picking you up. You're so cute like this.
Moz, you're inebriated. Show some self-respect.
Don't touch.
They lead you down the hallway, and as you're going, Odgar starts telling a long-winded story of how his grandfather, Dale Galloway, led the charge against the great necromancer, defeated him, and established them as the powerhouse that they are. He says, "You already saw this wee trick earlier, but figured you might as well see it again." Pulls the book, opens it up. It is just large enough for all of you, including the Galloways, to stuff in, though it is very cozy.
Whatever do you mean?
I'm just surprised we can all fit. Like, it didn't seem like there was a lot of room earlier, but now we're adding 2 more bodies?
Yeah, it is jam-packed. And you get the sense that this is on purpose, basically to keep you from doing anything or reaching for anything.
Oh, well, in close quarters, that's when the most pickpocketing can happen.
Roll a perception check. Just Moz.
Not bad, 23.
Okay. Subtract 5 gold from your character sheet.
Wow.
Wait. Oh.
Reverse Uno card.
All right.
No,
do I see whoever's stealing from me?
No, you do not.
It's probably Amber, actually. I'd guess.
Damn it. Well, here's the thing. I was gonna try and pickpocket somebody. I mean, it might not be the same person, but who am I near?
You are near Farraga and Odgar.
Okay. Oh man, this is, I guess I'm drunk, aren't I?
Yep.
Oh boy. Yeah, fuck it. Drunk Moz doesn't make wise choices. Being the head of the family, I'd assume that Odgar probably has some cash on him. I definitely know he's not the one pickpocketing me, but I don't know, I've been pickpocketed. But we're just going to do a brief, just try and pilfer anything that's loose, you know, nothing too conspicuous. But with everyone jammed in here, it shouldn't be too bad.
All right, give me a sleight of hand check.
29. There we are.
Nice.
Oh man,
Uh-oh.
you find yourself pulling a diamond out of Odgar's pocket.
Just kidding.
And just as your hand is about to go into your pocket, Farraga grasps your wrist and says, "Drop it, little mouse."
Oh, drop what? Very well, you got me. And he'll drop the other half of the rat that he picked up earlier.
It was going so nicely, too.
At this point, the elevator has been descending for a minute. You saw that Amber had pulled a key out from under her vest and inserted it before sending it down. Farraga's going to reach into Moz's pocket, pull the diamond out, and turns to Odgar and says, "You need to keep your eyes a little bit more open there, boss." And stuffs it back in his jacket.
Oh, my mistake. I'm attracted to things that are terribly shiny.
It's a medical diagnosis. See, literally magnetic hands towards shiny things. I'm his doctor.
Literal sticky fingers.
It's that thing that moths got attracted to light.
Yes, that's true.
Terminal, I'm afraid.
You all descend down.
They're not even gonna honor that.
No, they look at you all and it's like, really? As you descend into Odgar's office, the doors open up and you file out, and you get a chance to actually look around this time. And honestly, it is the first place that feels almost cozy rather than gaudy. The blues that are present here are more muted, providing a pop of color rather than a garish display of opulence. You see 2 stories of bookshelves covered in dusty tomes that look like they haven't been read in forever. The oak floor here, while it's well maintained, has a much more worn quality as if it has actually seen usage. There's a large desk that would be big even for a human to sit at, and behind it there is a set of large glass windows to look out over the reservoir with a door that opens up to lead out to a balcony. and what appears to be like a set of stairs that go down to a dock in the reservoir itself. The glass is enchanted in some way that it seems to more represent the light outside. So it's actually rather bright in here and almost feels sunny. And as you look out into the reservoir, it looks bright as well. Like it doesn't look like it's a dark, dank cave. You also see behind you all, and I guess more to the left from where you came out, a doorway that presumably leads off to other offices. As you all settle in, Odgar wheels his way over, takes position behind the desk, and presses a button. There is a flash of light in here, and you see his eyes glow for a second as he looks around. Actually, you see it in both Farraga and his eyes as they look around and look all of you over.
What does that do?
It's just a way of precaution. Anytime anybody steps in across the threshold, there's a special truciate spell that goes off.
Really?
Let's just say anything that might be hidden.
Wow, that's so cool.
We had some folks try to sneak it down invisibly, and we decided to install it after that.
Moz is gonna quickly cover his privates. Well, quit staring so much, you pervs!
Seems like a solid security measure to have.
Absolutely. Odgar settles in, pours himself a cup of tea, says, "Would any of you care for a wee bit of something to wet your whistle after supper?"
Whiskey, on the rocks.
Nah, no more for you. You're done, pal.
I'm thirsty.
You're not thirsty, you're sloshed.
No, I'm not sloshed, I'm Moz. As you know that by now...
I've had my fill of alcohol for the day, thank you very much, but if you have any tobacco, either cigar, cigarette, something like that, I don't use a pipe.
Odgar opens up a drawer and says, "Would you like a Havana cigar?"
I haven't had one in 30 years.
He pulls it out, cuts it, hands it over to Jasper. "Go ahead and use one of the lamps over there to light it. Got this whole place wired up with gas the past couple of years. I even got some of that, newfangled electricity down here. Oh, you ready to say this? This is something I'm proud of." And he turns around and opens up a box behind the door, and hanging there is a strange contraption. It has one apparatus horn-looking thing that you can talk into, another horn hanging from it, and says, "This is a telephone? One of the first in all of Albuquerque."
Really? I've heard some about those. How does it work for you?
Well, right now, there really ain't anybody to call, because nobody else in town has one.
I was wondering.
But if there were, supposedly, I could talk to them without having to use a message spell. Ain't that just grand?
Modern technology.
There's your flex. My phone number is 1.
But he says, enough of that. As you know, my name is Odgar Galloway. This here is my associate that you met earlier in the day, Farraga O'Connelly. My right-hand woman, perfect bodyguard. She has been working for me for many years. And this here, of course, is Amber Galloway, my protege, set to inherit this business, and hopefully, someday we'll be able to get her a husband that she actually approves of. Isn't that right, honey? She just says, "Yes, Granddad, one of these days." He says, "Now, I bet you all are curious why I asked you here."
No, really, I think we were thinking more about what you could do for us.
What we could do for you? Alright, what have you got?
We're on the tail of a very dangerous criminal, Jesse Blackburn. Word on the street is you know where he went.
He leans forward and says, "Ah, so the rumors are true. You fire the ones that tweaked the Blackburn's noses."
Well, let's just say that it was not unprovoked.
Little shit had it coming.
I can't disagree with you there. That man is the rudest mobbit I've ever met. Frankly, the fact that his father didn't disown him years ago, well, some folk don't understand when to cut their losses. You want to know where he's at?
Yes, precisely.
What makes you think that I know anything about where he's at?
We have our sources.
I can appreciate that. Tell you what, And he strokes his chin a little bit. I had a job for you all. How about I include that as part of the payment?
Depends what the job is.
Depends on the other part of the payment.
Let's hear what you are offering, sir.
He smiles and says, all right. Have you seen the news as of late? And he gives a snap, and Amber hands you the same newspaper that you looked at earlier.
Which part?
The fact that there's been 6 events of undead attacking the fast citizens of this town.
You'll forgive me, but given Albuquerque's history, I at least don't place a whole lot of credence in that. Seems like fear-mongering to me. It looks directly at Odgar Galloway, the most likely source of said fear-mongering.
Odgar gives a little bit of a nod and say, aye, that's fair. I understand that. And I would not say that it is untrue that we have done a bit of stirring the pot in the past, which makes this part of it so difficult. It seems that these are indeed real events, not being carried out by an upstanding undead American such as yourself. But some of the ones that have lost their marbles, so to speak.
Oh.
Well, we have run into our fair share of those as well. If you recall the family we ran into on the trail.
The Bone Jangles gang.
Yes, those fellows.
We jangled their bones.
You took out the Bone Jangles gang?
Yes.
Again, not unprovoked.
He gives a snap and says, Amber, give them a bit of bonus for that. They've been a thorn in our sides for a while.
Nice.
And Amber walks over, hands each of you $10.
I'm up 5.
Yeah, you're up 5. You see, everybody else gets a crisp $10 bill. Moz, you get 5 ones and then a $5 bill.
As long as we're settling up, Farragut said we could have the standard contractor rate for helping with the denim knuckles. 100 a head, I believe, was the agreement.
Right. You helped out Farragut a wee bit this morning. I suppose that's worth something. He gives a snap, and Amber actually pulls a set of books off the shelf, sets them down, starts fiddling with a safe, opens it up, and gives each of you $100.
Ooh.
The score.
At this point, I will accept the 100, but I will hand the 10 back to her, and I will say, the Denim Knuckles gang was indeed a contractual favor. However, the Bone Jangles gang, I will do that gratis. They were nasty pieces of work, and the world is better off without them, and I did it for myself. Thank you very much.
Well said. Moz is gonna reach to grab Jasper's dolphins.
Amber takes it, folds it, and just immediately sleight of hands it. Her hands are empty. The $10 is gone.
Moz is gonna drop his head, dejected.
And Odgar says, I like you, Mr. Jasper. You're an honourable man. You know, too many folk in this here town would take advantage of a person like me in this situation. But yeah, I like you.
That's the second time he's liked me tonight.
He's on a roll.
I trust this guy implicitly.
He says, the unfortunate bit of this is, normally, if we have an issue with the undead, we're able to deal with it easily, and it's usually a quick cleanup. It's 1 or 2. However, this time, it has been 6 events, 3 of them resulting in deaths. Farragut says, actually, we got a report of a 7th one up in Arroyo earlier tonight.
Shit.
I heard that's hearsay, actually.
no.
Untrue.
They both look and say, look into it anyway, Farragut. Make sure that it's nothing.
I'm very trustworthy as a source.
Roll bluff.
Moz is gonna stomp on Bonesaw's foot hard.
21.
Farragut got a 36.
Oh!
We can't fool We can't fool Farragut. That's just not gonna happen.
Odgar just seems to nod and accept it. Farragut just crosses her arms and points at her eyes, points at you, Bonesaw. Odgar continues and says, well, saving events, or sex, it's probably sex. However, they seem to be all sorts of random, no rhyme or reason or anything.
Question. For people who have been eyewitnesses, has it been the same undead creature? Do we know what these undead look like? And is it the same one? Different ones? And what is...
Odgar shakes his head and says, I don't rightly know the entire details of it. You'll have to talk to the sheriff about everything. But from what I understand, it has been different zombies each time. Mindless, shuffling things, until they are approached by somebody, and then they attack ferociously. We thought it was nothing at first, but we've been starting to feel a bit of pressure. We haven't made much headway, and frankly, our chef in town is... Honestly, I'm paying too much for him. I need to get a new one.
Oh, God. I was just about to compliment him on that, too, darn it.
A question for you. What do you know about the coffin maker?
Ooh.
Apropos of nothing.
Roll sense motive.
Might be them.
16.
Odgar slams a fist on the table and says, that man is a fiction, created by the Denim Knuckles to make us look bad. There's nothing happening with the coffin maker. It doesn't exist.
My bad. Sorry. We just heard the name dropped, and I was curious if it might be connected. Didn't mean to offend.
With a 16, you can tell both Farragut and Amber are a bit uncomfortable with that question, in the sense that, like, that is one of those things that you don't mention to the boss. It's something that they deal with as underlings.
Yes, didn't mean to offend.
Well, to be upfront and forthright, sir, we are no strangers to violence. We are no strangers to doing what needs to be done to get a job done, and we do fulfill the jobs we take. However, we're not contract killers. We are not murderers for hire. If we do take this job, I think that we should have an understanding that if when we find out more, if this is not a case as described, we're not just going to blindly murder somebody on suspicion.
Yeah.
Here.
I was expecting it at least from the other zombie, thank you.
Here.
Odgar says, I completely respect that. I would not ask you to do something that you're uncomfortable with. That is not my way. I can task that to another one of our friends. If you're able to find out whoever is causing these undead to rise and kill my citizens, I am more than willing to offer you. And he pulls out a piece of paper and slides it over. I believe you, Mr. Moz, recently came into some property.
That's privileged information. I wasn't aware spread out beyond the confines of perdition.
I have my ways, especially with that Northway River you have running through there.
Moz will look at the document blearily. He's not much good at reading sober. He's definitely not gonna be much better drunk.
It says, essentially, and with somebody helping Moz read it,
Yeah, Bonesaw will peer over his shoulder.
for the next 5 years, Moz, or whoever holds the deed of that land, is entitled to free and clear water rights.
Ooh.
And that includes transitory rights. So if water is passing through somebody else's land that owes the Galloways, Moz would still be allowed to get his water and not owe the Galloways anything.
Bones, you know I'm excellent at the reading, but just to speed things up, could you give me like a summary of what this document is telling me?
Yes, of course. Basically, this means that your little river belongs to you and you don't have to pay these fellows anything for it for 5 years.
I like my river.
In addition, AG will be receiving $2,000. And he reaches into the desk and pulls out a small ruby and sets it down on the table.
Moz is salivating.
This was a wee bit of insurance that I took when we made our deal with Jesse Blackburn. In addition to his location, where we set him up, we'll give you this tracking gem. Take you straight to him.
One more thing. If you could spare a couple bottles of that really clear liquid you got that stings good, that could help us take care of the dead people.
We'll call that your advance. And he snaps, and about 5 seconds later, 4 bottles come hovering in on unseen servants and set down in front of you.
Nice. Jasper's gonna take a step away.
Maybe someone else can carry the holy water.
I feel like Myra's probably the safest out of all of us to carry them, but Moz really wants to have at least one.
I got it.
Moz will take one.
Odgar says, Neil, like I said, all of this is for if you're able to just let us know who the source of this is. If you decide to put a permanent end to them, I'm not saying kill. I'm not saying that you even need to hurt them. Just make sure that we're not going to be seeing any more of the undead attacking, and we'll throw in an extra 500 for each of you.
Damn.
Understood. I think your terms are clear.
Deal.
Pleasure.
Moz will extend his hand.
Wonderful. Odgar will grasp it in both hands and shake it heartily and say, I do so love working with folk who know how to get a job done. New. And he slaps his legs and says, I believe we don't have anything else for tonight. If you don't mind, please go speak with the sheriff, Roy Savage. He'll be the one who gets you all the specific information he's collected. He's probably asleep at this point. He's always asleep.
Oh, I don't mind waking people up.
Or we can just wait until tomorrow. No problem with that.
I think I've had an eventful day. Wouldn't you say you've had an eventful day, Bonesaw?
Yes, I suppose I could sleep.
Yeah, how's that skin fitting back on? Little saggy?
You can't see it because all of his clothes are on, but it actually leaves little, scars where it's split.
Damn.
Gross.
Wow.
And I could use some dinner, so, maybe we should take our leave.
If we didn't provide you with enough food, I could certainly have more sent over from the kitchen.
See, now I'm torn.
How to answer that?
You provided plenty of food. I prefer to partake in private, so I have stored some from dinner. But if you would like to send more, I'll certainly take it off your hands.
He turns to Farraga and says, Farraga, when you take them out, yeah, boss, I'll make sure they get a little bit extra food. Farraga holds open the gate for the elevator. As you do, you get a good look at a portrait that's hanging over the entryway. It is a gorgeous oil painting of the Galloway family. You see Odgar sitting there in his wheelchair, Poppy sitting next to him, Sebastian and Ruby standing on one side of Odgar, a bit of space right behind Odgar, and then Amber and Seamus on the far side of the portrait.
As we moved the elevator, Bonesaw's going to very quietly nudge Moz and just ask, have you got any more illusions left in the tank?
No, fresh out. Sorry, Boneses.
Oh, that's okay. I was just curious who was getting beat up in the secret room.
Do you really need to ask?
How loudly does he say this? Because Amber is standing right next to him.
Quietly. I said quietly. Off to the side.
Okay.
Could always send Goiter to do little snaggly-doo.
A goiter reconnoiter.
Well, the halls are so open and he doesn't disguise well, and I worry about leaving him behind, and...
I think I might have an idea. Let me look at some... Moz is gonna rummage through his bag, and he's gonna pull out the Dust of Illusions.
Ooh.
Could you make its little Goiter look like, not Goiter, like Reggie, or like a cat?
So I've got more invisibility.
Oh.
So I will say, at this point, Amber is leading you, indicating for you to get in the elevator.
Okay, we pause the conversation and get in the elevator.
Farraga has you all locked in. As you're going, you see Odgar has turned around and is looking out at the reservoir, just watching it. You reach the top. Amber leads the way in the front. Farraga is going to walk in the back. You enter into the game room and start walking down the long hallway. Depending on what you want to do, you probably have, 2 minutes to make the decision, and Farraga's watching y'all from the back.
I'm going to take my extract of greater invisibility and feed it to Goiter under my clothes.
Roll a stealth check with a plus 10 for doing it kind of underhanded.
19 plus 10 is 29.
Okay.
But I've been feeding things to Goiter all evening, so it's not like it's a weird flex or anything.
Yeah. Perception check. Okay, I'm gonna let you know. Farraga gets a plus 19 to her roll. She rolled a 5.
Lucky.
Yeah, I had a 29 sleight of hand earlier, and that didn't slide, so, it's a good thing you got that bonus.
Goiter is now greaterly invisible. You're passing by the room that had the noise coming out of it. You also see Seamus, as you come out, has moved from the dining room into the hallway and is passed out in the hallway.
Bonesaw will bend down next to Seamus and the door and sort of be like, "Oh, you don't need to do that here, old chap," and make a fuss about trying to help Seamus while he stuffs Goiter under the door.
All right. Goiter is going to be able to get inside. How long are you going to have Goiter stay?
Goiter, I feel like, has standing orders to, check things out and then return.
Okay.
I can't give him anything very specific, but I assume he will look around the room and then oozle out to come and attach to me.
Okay.
Oozle. That's a perfect word.
You all are let out the front door. Amber turns back on all of you and says, "Now remember, get the job done. Get us the name. Bonus in it if you take care of it for us. But if not, we'll take the names themselves. Have a good evening. Talk to Roy if you need anything else."
Understood. Thank you for your hospitality.
Thank you.
Good day. She tips her hat. Farraga's standing next to her, and they both turn and walk back into the house. How long do you wait for Goiter?
Until he comes out.
Make a stealth check for Goiter, please.
Does he get a bonus?
Oh, no.
As he's invisible?
The plus 20 from being invisible. Okay, so plus 20, Goiter, just as he rolls out, becomes visible, barely not being seen. She rolled a 31 on her perception.
Wow.
Goiter comes out, flops up into your arms and says, "There was a man at a table. He had a cloth wrapped around his face, and they had water that they were pouring over his face. Not at the moment, but it seemed like they had buckets for doing that."
Oh. Was he human?
Yeah, he was human, but I don't know. I didn't see his ears or his eyes. He wasn't moving, and I don't think he was breathing.
Well, thank you for looking into that for me, Goiter. Did you get enough to eat?
I don't want any more of those rats. They moved around too much and their bones were too crunchy.
Well, we'll see how the other leftovers suit you.
Okay.
And Bonesaw will tell the others, there was a man they were torturing, tied to a table, and probably dead now.
Or maybe he's dead before, considering our recent employment.
Well, we heard him, shouting out earlier, I thought.
That doesn't stop you from shouting out.
Do you describe the method?
As they were waterboarding him.
They were pouring water on him, and he died? Well, it suggests the nature. If you say Goiter says he wasn't breathing, he could have been undead, and being made sure that he stays dead.
It's a possibility. Goiter, did he look like rotted or desiccated or anything?
No, he looked like the other humans around.
Ask Goiter if he looks like the fellow who was hanged.
Goiter considers. No, I think he was too tall.
Goiter says he was too tall.
Alright, it was a bit of a stretch. I can't say that I'm very comfortable with that, but it wouldn't be our first deal with the devil.
From my understanding, it's fairly common practice among these big mob families and whatnot. I mean...
Yeah, it's not really a big surprise what we're working with here.
I'm not saying I support it necessarily, just...
Well,
He was probably like a rival Denim Knuckles member or something.
Could be. Let's tread carefully, though. I don't want to wind up being an enforcer for organized criminals.
Agreed.
Well, let it come to that, Jasper.
Glad to hear that. By the way, you sound a lot more sober here than you did in there.
So after so many years, you build up quite a tolerance.
Wish I could say the same. Thank you for putting up with my little peccadillos there. The meal did a marvelous job.
You were delightful, Jasper, truly.
Let's just say that I can hardly wait to get back into my old clothes.
I think it's about time we had a decent rest. Been awake far too long.
I agree 100%. Let us make our way back to the hotel.
As you make your way back to the hotel, passing out of Old Albuquerque, getting out of the rich area into slightly less rich but still nice area, we're going to go ahead and wrap up for tonight.
Okay.
Dust and Blood is a Rolling Path production featuring Corinne Hill as Myra Sting, Blake Alfson as our GM, Zach Parker as Moz Copernicus Pryor, Keith Curtis as Jasper Graves, and myself, Gail Parker as Bonesaw. Our theme song is Dust and Blood by Arne Parrott, and other music throughout this recording is provided by Kevin Macleod, Tabletop Audio, Dark Fantasy Studios, and the Desperados 3 original game soundtrack by Filippo Beck Peccoz. Transcripts, detailed sound credits, and more can be found on our website at DustAndBloodPod.com. You can follow us on X and Facebook at DustAndBloodPod, or support us through our Patreon at Dust and Blood, where you can join our community Discord and get perks like our behind-the-scenes discussion show, The Roundup. We're so grateful for the support of our fans, people like Rain, Barbara, Haas, and Seru. Dust and Blood releases monthly on the 1st, and our next episode is coming at you on November 1st. Content warnings can be found in every episode description, and we hope you enjoy exploring this fantasy western with us. Thanks for listening.
My eyes shoot open to the early morning sun. I feel that aching, pounding, poking of a bullet in my lung. The skinny ceiling bones are crunching. I feel that wretched ancient something drag me up to face that coward son of a gun. His face grows wide as he fumbles for his holster. I feel the lead pierce my shoulder, neck, and chest. I scream that I have died 100 times and lived 1,000 years, and I'll be damned if a boy like you's gonna be the best. Yes, I'll be damned if a boy like you's gonna be the best.
That went far better than it had any right to.
I was gonna say.
I can't believe that you guys managed to pull that off.
That could have very easily gone Galloway.
Odgar's the one who rolled a nat 20,
Oh no.
So we got the perfume.
so he got the perfume in this.
I thought it was a great plan. The dice just have to cooperate.
Yeah. Fortunately, because you guys were fully invisible, there was nothing that necessarily had to happen.
I did get billiards, but I've never heard of snooker.
Snooker?
I think it's British.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of British isms that I don't quite
Well, either you are closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you are unaware the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community.
It starts with P that rhymes with T.
Well, you got trouble.
It starts with T that rhymes with P that stands for pool.
Now I gotta know, if Goiter is fed while on Bonesaw, is Bonesaw fed?
Technically,
No.
no.
Technically, no. How does that work? It's a separate digestion?
You don't want to know.
Goiter heals from Bonesaw.
Yeah, there's no placental barrier there going on.
He draws energy from Bonesaw, but it doesn't go the other direction.
Doesn't, so Goiter just gets fat. But it's like
Yes.
No, Goiter just likes to eat for fun. He likes the tickling sensation.
oh, but he doesn't need to. Oh, okay. So he's just a pig.
He doesn't
Yes.
need to eat. It's a hobby.
It's a hobby.
It's enjoyment.
He just likes to kill.
Got it.
God.